Ginger root. Many of us are familiar with it. I've decided it's time to try and grow some. After I decided I wanted to grow some, I figured I should do a little bit of research. Looked around, got ready to try a few different things. One thing that we were going to try is kind of dehydrating one in the fridge before we planted it, but apparently that is just a bad idea. So we'll get rid of that. That leaves us with 3 nice sized chunks. Look pretty good, fairly fresh. Got quite a few nubs on them. From everything that I've seen, basically the more of these little nubs the better, because they'll all turn into the shoots, which will eventually produce the food that creates more of these rhizomes. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Which is basically the good bit. Like most things that start off in my garden, it's going to spend a little time in these buckets here. Being a root-based crop, I don't want to let it just go wild, as this isn't exactly my property. We've rented it for many, many years and we're pretty much free to do what we want, but it's still not mine. Seen kind of mixed reviews as to whether or not I should soak this first. Seems more people say that really shouldn't, so that's the way I'm going to go. I filled my bucket to about halfway. I'm just going to shove those in there. You know what? I'm going to put all 3 of them in one bucket. And I'm going to top that up with some more fresh compost, give it a good soaking down. From what I've seen, about 2 to 3 inches is kind of the standard average with growing ginger. And that's about that. Don't really know anything about this plant. I've seen a few different type of tops that may come up. Some that look kind of bamboo-y, some that look kind of like tall grasses. I'll be curious to know what, if anything, comes up out of this. Well, it took an amazingly long time, but I can finally add to the growing ginger. That little speck right in the middle there, right there, is where my ginger has finally come up. Today is the 13th of June, so we'll keep on growing with that, see what comes of it. Well, it's the 5th of August. Here's my ginger now. Of course, lots of traffic. We've got more shoots coming up at the bottom, which I hope means more ginger rhizomes growing even farther down. We'll check on this again in a few weeks or a month or so. 1st of September, here's what that ginger looks like. Still not quite sure when I'm going to harvest it, but it's definitely growing along. Very exciting. We'll check back on that in a couple weeks or a couple months. Alright, so I planted this ginger on the 22nd of April. It is currently the 12th of September. And since this is supposed to stay above 55 degrees Fahrenheit, I figure with the way our nights have been going, I'm going to harvest this, take some of it anyway, replant the rest, and see what happens. Because I don't want to lose it all if it gets too cold. So let's just see what's in the bucket. Well, no time like the present, I guess. Knock the sides of this a little bit, loosen it up. Pail's definitely got some weight to it, but there's a lot of soil in there. Alright, come on out. I know you want to. Let's just take a look. See what we can see. It looks promising. Guess if it's just the one, I'll end up replanting the whole thing, but maybe that's where one of the starts was. Smells pretty good. Now you're supposed to give ginger 8 to 10 months, but this is Canada, so I don't figure I got that much of a growing season, no matter how nice it is here most of the time. Well, it pretty much just looks like the plant's coming off of the one I planted. I guess that's it right there, my fresh ginger root. I'll crack some of that off. That's right on the base plant there, so I'll definitely plant that on. So I'll break a couple off of this. So there you go, it's not a huge harvest, but I've got some planted on. When I harvest it this time next year, it will have been growing for a full 12 months, so in theory it should be a lot more impressive than that. Well, here are the ones that I'm going to replant back into my bucket. Try and overwinter them downstairs with the peppers. And there's that rhizome that broke off too. So I figure they seem healthy enough in this soil. Let's just put them back. That one in there. I'm going to plant these nice and deep so they got lots of room to grow up. Alright, so there I've got that transplanted. I would definitely say give ginger a much longer growing period than I gave this. Like I say, April to September is not terribly long. If you can give it 10 months, go right ahead. What I'm going to try and do here is I'm going to try and give it a full 12 months. Just let it grow on in this ginger bucket. Overwinter it with the peppers. Hope for the best. That's my way. Alright everybody, thanks for watching Growing Ginger. If you've got any advice to throw in the comments, feel free. Have yourselves a great day.